Alright, I think I ended the last video right here where I'm starting the first one, or the next one. Getting this wired up. I've got optical wire. I've got a USB cable which runs to the other side of the tunnel. I've got the cable for the remote, the DRC, digital remote control. All the outputs for the speakers, each one's individual, mixed, tuned, and then RCA for the sub, and then the power. So that's pretty much done. I'm going to clean this up, cover up all the wires, and then start finishing up on the rest of it. Boy, everybody thought this thing would be done by now, including me, but it's not. Okay, I got the stereo figured out, I believe. Kind of kicked my butt. But I got the tablet going into the USB going into a MHL converter. The MHL stands for a mobile high definition link, and that transfers the USB into the high definition cable. And I figured out one thing. I got a problem I got to fix. What I need is an 11-pin mini USB to a 5-pin USB coming out of the tablet, and I got a 5-pin coming out of the tablet. So I got it to work, but not with what is in there, so I got to carve that apart and put a different 11-pin adapter in there. But it does work. So, and then from the HDMI, let's see, let's turn this on. So there's the DRC, the digital remote control, and that turns on the amps. So from the HDMI, what happens is it comes into here, into this box, and I didn't know I needed this to start with, but the only inputs into this amp is either through the analog inputs or the analog inputs or the optical. So I had to find a converter from HDMI to optical and ended up getting this box. So this box takes 5-volt power. So I had to rig up a 5-volt converter, turn this thing on. So from HDMI to optical, and then from the optical into this amp. And then I got the controller, the digital remote controller hooked into this, a USB cable which comes out over there. So I'll be able to plug it in and tune this thing. It's a digital bit processor. So it takes the optical, it's a pure digital sound coming from the tablet, and it separates that and tunes it digitally, and then from there into each speaker separately. So with a microphone inside, you actually tune the response of each individual speaker. You tell it how far away it is from your head, so you can just maximize a real digital sound. And then also I got the output into this amp for my subs. And hell yeah, it works. So that's gonna be so freaking cool. So now I gotta get busy and figure out how to either get on the internet and order a 90-degree converter. That's what these are. This is an 11-pin to 5-pin converter. And I got 2 of them, so guess what? One of them's going to get destroyed. And I see if I can't integrate that into my console. And since I got 2 of them, yeah, I'm going to go for it. And if I can't make it work, then I get on the internet and see if I can order one. So there's the 15-pin adapter. 15 to 5-pin adapter. And it was inside here, and it was straight across like this one. You can't get one of these in a 90-degree bend. At least I can't find one. So I took this thing apart, cut apart all the insulation in between those wires that encased all those wires, and then rebent them in a manner that they won't touch each other or this casing here. And I'm going to put some epoxy in there to encase that thing. But then what I'll do is I'll embed that inside my docking station. So I can get my HDMI to the optical to the amp. Get that all working. So we'll try it, see if it works. It has to work. There's my second attempt. I'm holding it right now. I got that all tore apart. And the little wires that connect it, the bars, you know, the outside one's easy. You bend that over, but the inside one, you gotta fold it up in the right spot so these connections still land in the right spot. I took the cover off of that. And hopefully I'll be able to get that back on after the epoxy dries, holding that in the right spot. We'll give it a try. Okay, so here's my epoxied version of the 15 to 5-pin connector. And let's see if I can get the camera to behave. Well, I plugged this in
my best friend
gently.
at school, he told me a joke.
Yeah? What is it?
There are 30 cows and 28 chickens. How many didn't?
How many didn't? I don't know.
There are 30 cows and 28 chickens.
Okay.
How many didn't?
Didn't what?
Come on.
Is that the punchline?
No. There are 30 cows and 28 chickens.
I don't know what you're saying.
There we go.
Okay.
There are 30 cows, 20 of them 8 chickens.
Okay, what's going on here?
Cows ate the chickens.
Pretty touchy. Not working too good. Interesting. Damn it.
Yeah, you're right. I love you.
Love you.
Bummer. It's getting power. There it goes. Kinda, damn it. Yeah. I'm gonna pull it before I ruin something. Gotta try again.
Hey, that could be us in a few seconds.
And here I've got my tow hook. Or tow hook, mount, whatever you want to call it, and it goes in there like that. Pokes through the front of the grill. I got my grills back from the powder coater. Nice and black and shiny. And before I put that in, I want to revisit this mount here. It looks pretty ugly. You know, when you're looking inside the hood and you see this thing, it just looks kind of chopped up. So I'm going to try and make that pretty. I'm going to make the all the edges look the same, and that'll kind of make it look proper. You know, rather than like a big fat edge here that's kind of tapered. It's fatter here, narrower here, and then you flip it over here, the whole thing's narrow. And this one's kind of in between, and then on the front it's sharp. You know, this looks hokey like that. And then you look at the back, and I just filled that in, puddled that in with welds, and kind of left it. So I'm probably clean that up a bit too, and then repaint the whole thing. Mount it back in there, because that's got to go in before I mount that grill. So I'll hurry up and get that done. There we go. It's a little bit better, huh? A little bit better. It looks a little bit more like a machined piece instead of something I cobbed out in my garage. Cleaned up the back of it a little bit better. So I'll put some primer on there and then paint it. And I'm going to use semi-gloss instead of gloss. Kind of take some of the attention away from it that way. And what else am I doing? This car just won't give up. Will not give up. It's still making me work. Doing the column. Where's my pieces? I got the proper adapter for my wheel, which will let my horn work. And so I'll get that mounted up. But first I want to take care of my switch. Had to get a new switch, headlight switch. The other one crapped out on me. Used parts. You never know what you're going to get. It was bad right from day one. I put it in. It was kind of iffy right from day one. So we'll change that out. It's only 4 or 5 wires. I'll snip the rest. Tie into those. And I'm going to paint my column pieces get these snazzied up so they look good. Probably just go with the semi-gloss on these, and then paint this also semi-gloss. I'm going to paint these controls. We don't need all this ugly on it. We'll get rid of that. And get my horn to work. Gotta get my horn to work, by the way. I gotta figure out what I need to do to tap into that wire. I think there's a piece that goes in there and twists. It's got a wire sticking out. I gotta find that piece. Uh-oh, what happened? What happened to my cruise control? That is going bye-bye. That always bugged me. You know, having all those letters on there. Looks too factory. So I was always going to paint it. And you can't get one of these without a cruise control button on it. So since this one gave out and I was going to paint it anyway, I decided to grind it off. I'm going to fill that up full of epoxy and sand it down smooth. And now it'll look like the other switch, because I'm going to do the same damn thing on this one. Get rid of that. So I'll grind that off, epoxy that in. That wash button, that's what runs the squirter for my wiper. And I have one more function I needed to wire up and put a switch in for, which I had not done yet. And it's a function for these LED taillights, which kind of goes into a starburst random light show, which I thought was kind of cheesy and in the same way kind of cool. So like when I'm getting ready to launch and I hit my launch control button, I can flash my tail lights and it'll give like a light show, and then dump the clutch and nail it. So what I'm going to do, I found the wires that'll make this thing work. So that'll be my button to do the light show for my tail lights. Pretty cool, huh? So we'll be able to use that button. Headlights will work, brights will work, you know, the quick flash and then push for the brights, and then your blinkers. So everything function on there as well as everything is functional on that after I get done with it. Okay, here's my wiper switch. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to get rid of that intermittent high-low adjustment. Basically all I have is up, that's on, that's off, on, off. That's all I got. One speed, and then this right here I got worked up for the squirter. So I'll grind that off, cover that up, get it painted. Here's my blinker slash light switch. Primered up, ready to sand down and paint. It'll look so much better without a functionless button. Remember, I got this set up to do that little brake light show. Here's the receiver that I made. Got that ground off a little more pretty. Better angles. Better grind. So that'll look better. So boy, I'm getting it narrowed down. Some of the ugly stuff I'm taking apart and getting cleaned back up again. I am gonna change this. That's funny. Somebody commented on my video, said it looks like a monkey's ass. And I kind of agree. I never did think that looked right, but I wanted it to. I knew it didn't. Anyways, it's gone. I'm gonna get rid of it. I'm just gonna do the semi-gloss black, which is gonna match in with this, match in with this. You know, I just got a couple of semi-gloss black pieces right there, you know, with this. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Alright, spent the week pretty much prepping and painting parts, pieces for the column cover, redid the door handles, and I had to get a new headlight switch, and then I modified that. The receiver for the tow hook and my license plate, and then the wiper arm. So man, once again, relentless. This thing just will not give it up, and neither will I. So now we're going to get the front end done. I'm going to put the receiver back in there. I got the grill from the powder coater. I don't know if I've showed my grills. So everything's a mess. Everything's laying out. I'm doing 5 things at once. But it's all coming together. I ordered about 4 more of those connectors for the 15 to 5 pin USB, so I got a couple more chances to try coming up. I got the rear grill in there, and I'm going to make new pieces right here, because when I suck that up, it wants to pull that down. It's too strong, so I'll make some longer pieces and let that be flat. Call that good. But the grill is in, diffuser's in, I got the rear closeout panels in, radar, you know, everything's done. I'm going to change out my camera. I'm going to get a license plate ring that has the camera in it instead of that. So I'll put the wheels back on it. The back end's done. And I got the steering column back together with my shaved controls and the steering wheel installed with the horn. So all that's good. This button makes the little light show for my tail lights, so that's cool. So everything's functional. I love it. You know, no extra buttons hanging around that don't do nothing. Everything that there has a purpose. So that's pretty cool. And it's all fitting together pretty well. I'm gonna get them wheels on there and get the front done. I got the front grill put in there. All I did was glue it in with urethane, which is going to be stuck. You know, and it's kind of a sound deadening material. And I'll mount these in here. And I'm also going to glue the radar up under the nose. This fiberglass doesn't affect it. And then the laser shifters will go in between the grill plates right there. And that won't take long to do that. I got my receiver stuck in there. Looking better, shaved up, prim and proper. Getting close. Maybe that's what I should name it, getting close. Got everything done up front here as far as mounting all that stuff. Got the laser shifters in the grill. And right now I'm revisiting the headlights. I took the covers off there. You can see where, as little as I've sprayed it down and wiped it off, some of that's dripped in here. So I got to come up with a better deal. I got to get some foam or something and seal that all the way around. I don't want to really glue that. I don't use silicone on anything on a car, so I'm not going to use silicone, and we don't need to get into that. Urethane will make that part of the car, period. So if I ever wanted to take it apart, I'd have to break it, cut that off, and then put a new piece on. So I'm thinking a real thin piece of foam gasket to put around there, and hopefully that'll seal. I don't know, but as far as the dust getting in from the back, I thought about filling full of foam inside, but that's going to make a mess and be hard to clean it up and make it look good. So from behind where the headlights go in there, I'm just going to put some of that strip cock, kind of a butyl stuff around the crack, nice and neat as I can, and seal that up from the back side, and then with the lens cover on the outside, that'll be sealed up and dust won't be able to blow around in there. Call that a cure, along with whatever gasket I'm going to use. And that'll do it. That'll work good enough as long as I seal it up from the back. And it won't look too ugly because there's going to be a cover that goes over those lights anyway. And then I ended up getting some more stock. For that, I got to finish these pieces. And I should have everything in the mail today to revisit the docking station. Be nice to get that buttoned up. I'll post this video, of course, after the fact. Maybe not. But what I'm getting at is I got a couple weeks to the end of the month. In fact, I think there's 2 car shows, one on Saturday, one on Sunday. And it'd be cool to make a visit to both of them. So that's what we're hoping for. Yep. There is the strip cock. I got that all sealed up. That stuff don't get hard. It's flexible. Stays sticky. Lasts a long time. And it's kind of cheesy, but you know what? I don't know what else to do. It is what it is. So, the headlights can still be aimed. That'll move. I can scrape that out of there and clean it up. It's not permanent. So, pretty good solution, I suppose, for sealing that up and not being permanent. And given the qualities of that stuff, I think I'm going to go ahead and use it right out here. Again, it's not permanent, seals up, stays flexible, and it can be, removed and cleaned up. So there you go. Put a tiny little pinch of that because it squishes out, and you can clean it off on the outside, but if it squishes out on the inside, then you see it. So we'll have to use it sparingly. Back inside, now this is a next generation MHL converter. Next generation after this one. This one has a 5-pin coming out of it, and then you need the 15 to 5-pin converter, which I tried to bend and redo and failed twice. Okay, now with the next generation after that, this one has the 15-pin built into it. So I took that all apart, or cut it apart, got it to where it fits in this hole. So I'm going to mask everything off, mask off this part around that hole, and then mask off around the tablet. And get that ready, fill it full of epoxy, stick it into place, let it harden up, and then that thing should be stuck in there right where it belongs. So this is going to work out much better. I don't know if you remember way back when I was first checking this out, I was talking about how when you plug it in, it doesn't get a real charge. But now with this thing, we're back up to full charging capabilities through this plug, as well as the HDMI. So that's cool. Alright, headlight covers are done. Got all the lights sealed up. Lenses are sealed with that strip caulk, so I can get that out if I need to, or take it apart if I need to.